Guys, a win is a win. Let no one confuse you that this was a scrappy win. United is so bad. Listen, at this state, all we need is to win games. A win is a win. That's why in this match reaction, I'm not going to focus on any negatives. I'm not going to call out people. I'm not going to mention Onana's name and call him out for the errors he made again. No, I'm going to focus on the positives because we won a game of football again with 10 men. Subscribe to the United of Sport. My name is Webb. An exciting moment to be a Man United supporter because, first of all, one thing I've observed in this game is that, and in so many games United has fought back, is these players look more serious when they are disadvantaged. You remember how we beat Arsenal with 10 men? You've seen now this performance. You saw how we beat Southampton. In fact, it's almost becoming a good thing that Man United concede first. Because that's when these players wake up. Man United players wake up when they concede first. This is what they need to be woken up. I think they think about it, it dawns on them that they could lose a game, and they start fighting. It inspires them. That's what I keep saying. If these players have the character, the right fight, the right mentality, they will play football. If they don't, they will be beans, for lack of a better word. So anything that can psych them up, if Amorim can't psych them up before the game, then let the opposition psych them up by scoring against them first. That is when they start running and fighting for each other. Look how composed they were. Look how much they were running with 10 men. Look how much they were running, guys. Ipswich was bossing possession, but these guys were still running. Every one of them, each and every one of them was running. The thing I loved about today's game, of course, is Zirkzee was a top performer again. I think Zirkzee is increasingly becoming a fan favorite. I think he is trying to play well. Zirkzee and Bruno, because Bruno, guys, you saw what I kept telling you. We need Bruno getting on the ball. He's our best ball user. Today, it is why United started playing from the start. Amorim did what I spoke about in my preview. I said if Bruno is playing next to Ugarte and he's playing, he's given the freedom to think for the team, to go everywhere and get the ball moving, United will play. The earlier Amorim does that, the better for Man United. Not remembering to play Bruno as a central midfielder when you're trailing. Yes, which means it shows that you know that he's the guy who makes you play, but you choose to push him high. Bruno should consistently be playing there until Man United gets options. But for now, until the end of the season, Bruno should be playing there. I thought for me, whereas he made a couple of errors, he's the reason Man United was able to win this game. He's the reason Man United was able to protect the win, even with 10 men, the lead with 10 men. So for me, there was a lot to be happy about in this game. Played a bit, bad time we considered in the first minutes, but grew early into the game. You love to see Man United grow early into the game. So Zirkzee, I thought, played well. Bruno played well. I thought Lenny Yoro had a good game for himself. Very positive, going forward, doing stuff, looking more comfortable. I think he's improving and growing because of the trust that Amorim is giving him. And you'll have to see it because he's a young player. A few errors he was making. Of course, he's 18. He's what? Is it 19 now? He's young. He's a young player. So there is a lot for him to learn. But you can see what they saw in him. You talk about Patrick Dogu and how he makes the wing exciting. It's sad that he was red carded. I was going to be shocked if he wasn't. I think for me, we all agree it was a red card. In fact, I'm happy that Hutchinson did not break his leg. That was so nasty. A bad tackle it was. But Arsenal are lucky. Arsenal are some lucky guys because the fact that Dogu won't be there for that game is he will feel bad about it himself, but of course that's again for him to learn. As a young player, you learn again from your mistakes. But Arsenal, we needed to face Arsenal with Dogu in. But I'll tell you, that Arsenal team is one we can beat with whoever we have. All we need is these players to psych themselves up. The other players I will talk about in this game, I said I'm going to keep it positive. I think Ugarte is always Ugarte, running and fighting for every ball, keeps doing that. The Man United defense, I think Amorim got it spot on with his substitutions. So many people in groups where I am had disquiets about Amorim's substitution, choosing to put off Garnacho after we got the red card, because Garnacho was making runs and stuff, and he was again showing a bit of signs of selfishness. But I think he was vindicated because you saw what the energy that Mazraoui brought onto the game. I like the moment, whereas it got him a yellow card, but I like that heated up moment. You know, who doesn't love to see, hot-headed Man United defenders and midfielders? I think those are the guys we are used to. The Paul Scholes, the Roy Keanes, all these guys were hot-headed. Gary Neville was in the back, Rio Ferdinand, hot-headed players. That's the character I want to see, and that's what I loved about that incident with Mazraoui when he was looking like he was protecting Manuel Ugarte against Dilap. I thought it looked so good. I loved it. I live for such moments. So for me, it was a good game. Amorim, I thought, handled it well. The players, we looked like we were playing and carrying the ball. We are trying to create chances. Hoyland, I will not, again, I said because it's a win, I want to focus on the positives. I'm not going to call out any names, even if I feel almost pulled to that. I'm not going to attack any individual. I'm just going to credit the individuals that performed well and the entire team for being able to win a difficult game like that, coming from behind at home, where Man United is known to be so nervy. So, again, 2 games. Remember, Rio Ferdinand said United can only win one. This is a draw. The Everton game was a draw, which could have felt like a win, I think, for Man United. But yeah, it was a draw. These are 3 points in the bag. You feel like we're getting there. And soon, in March, we're going to have another international break. That could be an opportunity for us to, again, work on a few more things. So for me, listen, I think I'm happy about the game. The performance wasn't the most exciting, but like Amorim said, what Man United needs now are a few wins in the bag, a few 3 points in the bag. When is the last time Man United won a game of football in the Premier League? You would struggle to recall. So it was an important victory that will bring back the confidence of the players. You're having players like Harry Maguire score. You're having defenders delete score. That's good for their confidence. That's beautiful for their confidence. In terms of man of the match, I think for me, I would give it to Bruno. Bruno was doing everything. He was the mastermind and the orchestra of everything good that Man United did. Getting on the ball, even in defense, picking it up everywhere. The guy just works so hard for the team. That's the one thing we'll credit Bruno for eternity. He works so hard for the team. He works so hard for the team. At times, it looks bad. At times, he's out of place. At times, he overdoes it. But the principle is he works so hard for the team, and you love to see it. I want to give Bruno that credit and commend him because, listen, some players will shock you. Some players will shock you at their lack of effort, their lack of desire, and love for the club. You look at players and you feel they don't have the heart for Man United. But you can't say that about Bruno. For me, it's a big credit to him. And I always feel good when Bruno has a good game, by the way. I feel sad when he has a bad game. And I call him out when he has a bad game, when he makes mistakes. But we all know he's Man United's perhaps most important player, I should say. Without Bruno, Man United looks different. It looks blind. Like there is no one-eyed. It's just a group of blind bodies. So beautiful stuff there. So Man United now climbs to 14th on the pile. We are above Everton, a point above Everton, which I think for me is a good place for us to be at because, Everton struggled so much this season. David Moyes comes and a few games in, they're ahead of us. How? So disrespectful. It felt so bad for me. That is United for you. Out of 10, performance of the entire team, out of 10, I would give them, mostly for the character they showed after trailing, I would give them 7. I'll give them 7 out of 10. For them to fight like that with 10 men, brilliant performance for me. Good night.